Hello friends, this is Scott back at Project Garden number 1. It is early September and it is still in mid-90s, so we're still really hot, muggy. It feels really kind of sticky today. Anyway, we're kind of getting that point of the season where I'm getting tired of fresh vegetables. You know, it's time to now look at all this harvest that we've been putting all this work in, and how are we going to preserve it for the winter. I like to freeze my produce. I like to just blanch it, stick it in little dinner-sized baggies, and then just pull them out of the freezer and eat them. Cut up a bunch of tomatoes yesterday along with some onions for the freezer, and then today we've got lots of good stuff I'm going to show you. So let's take a look and see what we got today. Well, we're starting out in the garden here looking at our beets. Now, these beets have been in the ground a long time, so I'm hoping they're not all woody. I think they're still good, but just this garden has again been neglected. As I mentioned in my last video, it's getting kind of tired. So it's time to pull all these up and see what we got for a harvest. So today is mostly beet day, but we're going to pick some other types of vegetables also. But here's a good beet here to take a look at. Now, beets are an easy crop to harvest. They're fairly shallow rooted, usually just one main stem root, and they can just pull them out of the ground. And this garden has been recently watered, so the ground is fairly soft. So I'm just pulling them out here, taking a look and seeing what I got. The edges of the rows are generally not as good as the middle, but here's to take a look at what we got just from the very first handful. So there's quite a few nice beets there. And we'll put them in a 5-gallon bucket, and we'll just keep on swimming and see how many we get in here. I want to pull all the beets up today. It's the only crop that I'm going to pull everything up just because it's time. If we don't pull them up, they'll start getting woody, which means they're not soft and sweet, and they're starting to go to seed, and we don't want that. So we're just going to pull all these out and just take a look and see how well we did. I did only plant one row of beets this year, and so even with one row, you're going to see a lot of beets come out of this garden. Next year we'll probably plant some more, and I'll do succession planting, which is planting 1 week and then another week and another week. But I found some problems in the garden. We've got lots of snails. This moist, overgrown area has just become a breeding ground for all these snails, so they're everywhere. Again, the crops, it's not going to affect the root crop much. They're just eating the leaves, but it's just something that I'm going to have to deal with once I get all the garden picked and get ready to put to bed. I might bring my chickens over here and let them go to town. Ducks are great for snails, so if you have ducks, those would be a good thing to put in the garden. They'll go through and pick out all these pests that we have here. But like I say, I'm picking as many snails, it looks like, as I am beets. They're all through the leaves, and so my chickens will enjoy them as I take the tops home for them to munch on. Makes great eggs. That's the secret to the dark, rich orange eggs, is giving them plenty of fresh produce. They really like that. Now, I have been eating beets all year long. I've just been picking enough just for individual meals, with the main focus of letting as many of them grow as large as possible so that I have some for the freezer that'll hopefully last through the winter, give us a variety of our diet. The next crop, as I'm digging through here, I'm finding some pretty large turnips. I'm not going to pick all the turnips today because frankly, I don't eat a lot of turnips, and I don't know quite what to do with them, and I don't want to fill up my freezer, and I don't think they freeze as well as some other vegetables. But I've got to learn some new recipes for turnips. I eat them raw, and then you can also put them in and broil them with other vegetables. But they're becoming an acquired taste, and here's a good look at some of them. Not bad. I've picked bigger ones in past videos. Now, the one crop I've been waiting on to pick are the potatoes. I'm just going to do a test dig today just to see kind of how we're doing. I didn't mark the varieties in here, and they're all grown together, so I'm just taking a look. It looks like this is more of a white variety of potato that I'm finding here. I didn't bring my spade over, or my fork, I should say, to pick these. I've got a shovel, and sometimes when you use a shovel, you're just cutting into the potatoes. So that's one thing I like better with my bins at home, is that you don't cut the potatoes. You just open the bin, and then the potatoes are just there above ground. You just have buried them in dirt throughout the season so that the sun doesn't hit them, and then you just open the containers and pull them out. But here, we decided to grow in ground just to see if we can get a bigger crop, because I find that anything you grow in ground is generally better than what you're going to get in a container. most of the time, not always. My garlic does better in a container, it seems like, than it does in the ground. But we'll see how the garlic does this year when I start planting in the fall here. I'll put a good row of garlic in and just see how it does. But we're finding quite a few potatoes. I'm just digging around a little bit to find enough just for a meal. And just take a look. I want to process everything in its time, and the potatoes are not yet died off, so there's still time to let them sit and grow some more. But I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing so far. Not seeing a ton of potatoes, but looks like we've got quite a few. Now on to the next crop are the green beans, and these have not been picked for a week and a half, and they're huge. Again, when you don't pick beans, they tend to shut down, but these are still looking pretty good, so I'm getting a lot of large, good quality beans. I prefer a little bit smaller bean. They're a little tastier and less woody, but you know, you get what you get when you're kind of neglecting the crop. Here's a look at some beans, nice big bush green beans. I think they're Kentucky Wonder is the variety. Now, green beans are a very labor-intensive crop. You've got to bust your back, bending over, reaching through, searching for them. They tend to blend in very closely with the leaves, but they're very tasty, and I like them with butter and bacon, and they're definitely worth the effort. So here's another good look at some beans. Nice big mature ones. And now for the next crop to harvest, I grabbed the shovel again, and these are ones that I need today. I am not sick of this vegetable. I've just barely started eating these vegetables, and this is the carrots, and they are looking even better this time. I was a little bit skeptical of how well they were going to do because I did not thin them, but they are looking really good, and they've been very tasty up to this point. I'm not going to grab a bunch of them, but that's a whole nother day's project because it's going to take a lot of work to prepare and freeze the carrots. We got lots of carrots, but those are tasty, and they're going to be great for fresh eating. Well, let's take a look and see what we harvested today. It looks like a very nice variety. We've got potatoes. They're looking very nice. The carrots, a good supply of beets, not as many as I probably wanted, but not too bad. The turnips, green beans, got a few cucumbers, and one nice red head of cabbage. Nice tomatoes. I got a little bit of a slug damage, and then I picked a bunch of ears of corn. The corn's almost done, and whatever I don't get to or it doesn't quite mature, will go to the chickens. So what a good variety of vegetables. It's nice to have a variety. When you get tired of eating fresh vegetables, you can always, if you have a variety, you can go from one to the other. Now here's a look at all the stuff that I'm going to give to the chickens. And as you see, they're not real excited. I've got 11 chickens, and I've got a couple looking at this great pile of a salad buffet, and they're spoiled. They're not even hungry. They're tired of fresh veggies also. So it is that time of the year, time of plenty. Thank you very much for watching today's video. And if you'd like to continue to follow my journey in living my best rural life in the city, please like, share, and comment, and make sure you subscribe so you know when my next videos are coming out. Have a great day, and I wish you great success in the garden.